Water, earth, fire, air. Long ago, the four nations lived together in harmony. Then, everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Only the Avatar, master of all four elements, could stop them. But when the world needed him most, he vanished. 100 years passed and my brother and I discovered the new Avatar, an airbender named Aang. And although his airbending skills are great, he has a lot to learn before he's ready to save anyone. But I believe Aang can save the world.
What up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Naga Nerds. This is going to be episode 2. If y'all don't get that, that's from Star Wars, episode 1 all the way up to episode 9. Well, really, episode 1 through 6. Them other 3 whack-ass episodes where they made Luke Skywalker look like a fish. Those don't exist ever in life. We can just all forget about those. So, episode 1 through 6, really, that's where it comes from. We on episode 2, baby, episode 2. We're going to keep it going. And this episode is about the Avatar The Last Airbender. Water, air, fire, earth. As you've seen right in the intro, dealing with the elements. One of the greatest TV shows of all time. We're not going to even have a discussion about that, y'all. I'm sorry. It's not even. Y'all have a discussion about that, y'all can get the fuck out. It's not even up for debate. Avatar The Last Airbender is one of the greatest shows of all time. It's not even cartoon animated. It's one of the greatest TV shows of all time. And if you haven't seen it, you can sit your ass down and binge watch it. It's on Netflix. And if your children haven't seen it, absolutely sit them down and make them give you a goddamn book report on it. Every damn week. Every episode, you should make them give you a book report. Or at least the episodes that I'll go over in this video. But this is, for those of you who don't know, the Naga Nerds, I'm a real nerd. That's really what I do. Teaching y'all the law and all that stuff. That's my side job. This is my real shit right here. Went to film school, as I've said before. So film and movies, TV, and all that stuff is my first love. And it's what I would be doing if I didn't have to help you niggas save your asses from these popos and the other government. The other government. Devils that's trying to steal your freedom. But there's room for both, But if I don't do a lot of these videos, successively, just know I'm working on that side to try to help you niggas to learn the law too. So sometimes that takes a little time away from the Naga Nerds. But this is what I love to do, so I'll keep doing these. And we're gonna get Timmy Tight Top in here eventually, and we'll get Zoe in here too. Zoe's a nerd. Zoe be trying to act like he not no nerd. Zoe's a big nerd, just in case y'all know. I know you gotta know. We talk about this shit all the time on TV. When we get into our Star Wars talk, we can just damn near cut the camera off. Because we'll go on for that shit, or we'll go on about that shit all day. So Zoe's a nerd, Timmy Tight Top's a nerd. Got a lot of nerd homies, man. Nerds are just geniuses, really. So that's why a lot of y'all are undercover nerds. I be seeing y'all out here. A lot of y'all don't want to say it and stuff. But then when we start talking about TV shows, and all y'all done went through the whole TV shows of the comic book. Man, y'all really undercover nerds. Wear your nerd flag, goddammit. It's cool. Shit. Wear your nerd flag just means you smart. That's all that means. It means you are curious about the universe around you and how it works and the wonders it may hold for you. So don't be tripping. But Avatar The Last Airbender is definitely one of the greatest TV shows of all time. It's #1 TV show in 5 different countries. That's right. #1 TV show in 5 countries. A cartoon. Anime. So that should let you know how it is, or how dope it is. Most people or they'll think it's for children, and it's not. I mean, a lot of it is. Let me get it is, because they got a lot of, you know, child jokey stuff in there, because it was made for Nickelodeon, so they had to bring the child stuff in. But man, oh Manischewitz, when I tell you, it is definitely all about, you know, higher science. And the way it got there, we're gonna talk about how it got there. I don't think the creators even understood what they didn't understand what they were doing. It was the universe putting this together as a roadmap for you to follow, for those who had the third eye, who had the sight. It's a roadmap for you to follow and understand what to do. And it was put together so beautifully, so harmonically. It's a masterpiece. And it's, you know, and sometimes, you know, if you're in the movie industry, you'll know sometimes things that have no business being great projects be like, what the hell is this? How did this project get funded? You're like, how the hell is this? And then sometimes, you know, because it's low budget and people are doing it because of the love of it and stuff like that, you'll get this beautiful harmony of people working together, and it'll create a masterpiece of a work. So that's kind of what happened with Avatar The Last Airbender. They, for the love of everything that they were doing, anime and Eastern culture, you know, as far as you know, martial arts and all that type of stuff, Zen Buddhism, man, because they had all this love and Asian music and anime too. Also, that's what helped them bring them into that culture. So, man, it just became a beautiful masterpiece. And then, because of the philosophy, the ancient philosophy that's in it, it started to draw on a lot of astrology. So it really is a teacher. It's an astrological roadmap, you know, for you to be able to study, and especially if you're a child, because it feeds it to you in a child's way. So, Avatar: The Last Airbender, we're gonna get into it. So, get into the origin and the philosophy of Avatar: The Last Airbender. So, the definition of Avatar is, or the definition of a avatar is, that they use in the movie, because you'll find a couple of different, depending on the translation, you'll find a couple of different translations, but basically it's the divine medium that has descended upon the world. That's what you'll see when the movie starts. You'll see that in the background, that's written when it goes fire, water. Right at the beginning, when you saw the intro, you saw the fire, water, air, earth. The things that are written on the back, the symbols, the Chinese writing that's sitting on the back, it says divine, excuse me, the divine medium that has descended upon the world. That's what an avatar is, basically. So a medium is where anything, basically, and you can convert anything to energy. So basically, a medium is something where energy flows through, right? So from this point to that point, it's a way to connect those 2 points. So the avatar is a way for people. An avatar is a way for the average or the regular person to be channeled divine consciousness or divine knowledge. That's why it's the divine teacher who descended upon the world. A lot of people just be with the fuck shit. And so you need somebody who's not with the fuck shit to come and show you the right path. Like, man, put that bullshit down. Put the blunt down. Turn off the Pornhub. Yep. Put the hot sauce down. Put the pig feet down. Somebody gotta walk up to you and tell you that, and then start bringing up, don't you know you God? You don't remember that? See, you falling so low that you don't remember you God. Well, come on, let's go on this walk. And so that's what an avatar does. It'll take you, and then usually the walk that it's taking you to is in front of a giant mirror. That's all an avatar would be leading you to, because an avatar is no higher than you. It's just one who realizes the power. That's just a God consciousness who realizes the power of God consciousness. So it just knows you don't realize that yet. You forgot. You got Alzheimer's. So you the graces with Alzheimer's. So it's gonna take you to the mirror and put you in front of the mirror and slap you on the back of your head if you're not watching, if you're not looking. Like, look, do you see that nigga right there? You see that nigga? That nigga right there? Right there on the other side? That nigga God. That's all I'm saying. That nigga's God. I heard he was God. I heard he can do some amazing shit too. So, hey, y'all have a conversation. So, that's what an avatar is, right? It's a sign medium that has descended upon the world, the mortal world. right? And so then what are the underlying schools of thought and philosophies that deal with the Avatar, right? So basically you got astrology, we all know. So the 4 elements are the elements of astrology that you deal with in astrology. In the 4 so either in astrology you're an air sign, water sign, earth sign, or fire sign, water sign, air sign, or earth sign, right? So the 4. So same thing. These 4 nations, the Earth Nation, Water Nation, Fire Nation, and Air Nation, these all represent the 4 elements in astrology. Because remember, everything is just energy and vibration. That's it. And so, it takes on all these different energies will take on certain vibrations depending on, where they are. So again, if you're a fire sign, you have a completely different energy than a water sign. And if you're an air sign, you have a completely different energy than an earth sign, because these are opposite energies, right? So astrology is the main thing in Western and Chinese astrology, right? So Western astrology deals with every year, your birth chart every year, whereas Chinese astrology is every 12 years, right? So it's and you should use both of these things. If you're getting into this stuff, you should definitely use both to balance it out. So I'll give you an example. Like in Western astrology, so there's in Western astrology there's 22 possible signs. Like, so you're 10 first planets in 12 houses, right? And so all of these have a certain sign that they're equated with. And so then you add all of these up to see what predominantly you are out of these 22 signs. Whether you're more water, you're more air, you're more earth, or more fire. Or if you balance out, you could be completely balanced. You could be like 11 and 11, or some people balance all the way out to, they'll have 5 here, and 5 there, and 5 here. So they'll be completely balanced. Me, I'm not like that in Western astrology. My sign in Western astrology, or in my chart, out of those 22 possible signs, 18 of them are aggressive, fire or air. 20 out of 22, 18 are aggressive. That leaves only 4 other signs that's passive, that you may get a pass on, and only one of those is water. So the other 4 are earth signs. So I'm not the one to be played with. So that's what that means. I'm super aggressive, and so what means I have to learn to balance that energy out. So on the other end, in Chinese astrology, which is every 12 years, my sign is a rat. I'm a water rat. So you need to go look that up. So as a water rat, now I'm fire in Western astrology, but I'm water in Chinese astrology. So now that balances me out. So that's also why I have a lot of people will seem like you don't seem like a regular Aries, because I'm not crazy. I don't go off the bat, a lot of the times. Yeah, I don't know, but not like other Aries. I'm much more in control and stuff like that. So, but that's also because I'm a water sign in a different astrology, a different whole different type of astrology system. So Chinese and Western astrology, and then Taoism and Buddhism, which deals with, basically, Taoism is the harmony of nature. So is Buddhism. It's dealing with the harmony. It also deals with karmic law, energy that you put out into the universe, energy that you get back. So this is why man, y'all understand, this is some ill shit, y'all. This is a dopest goddamn cartoon. It's dealing with high science like this. I know a lot of y'all like Dragon Ball Z. Now, I've seen a couple of episodes of Dragon Ball Z. I'm gonna have to get into it. Yes, I know I should have watched Dragon Ball Z a long time ago. I don't want to hear no shit. But to me, these two was battling, so I didn't want to muddy my waters with the Dragon Ball Z bullshit. I didn't want to get the turd in the beautiful champagne bowl. The Dragon Ball Z turd in the beautiful champagne bowl of the Avatar. So I didn't watch that damn episode. However, I will have to watch it. I know I gotta watch it. The Dragon Ball, the the Super Saiyan and all that stuff. I've seen a few of the episodes, but it's not dealing with what the Avatar is dealing with. It's dealing with some shit, but Avatar is doing the damn thing, y'all. You understand? Right there. So then the martial arts that's behind it. So it deals with actual martial arts. So what do you see? So basically, Avatar, you see in each nation, in each nation, there's a person who's born who can basically manipulate their element. So again, this is how we're equating this. This is how this equates to real life, right? So meaning if you're a Pisces, or if you're a water sign or a fire sign or earth sign or air sign, there are some people who are really powerful in that energy, who are really, really powerful in that energy, whereas some people aren't as powerful within their energy. These are probably, souls who are, more on the learning path, whereas some people come here to express more of that energy, you know what I'm saying, in their manifestation in this experience. So, they're going to be called benders. These are people who are able to manipulate their power. So, the most powerful people you would see would be somebody like Jordan, who is an air sign, but he's also on the cusp. He's a Pisces Aquarius cusp. So he's very creative. And then also, you would get into some cardology. His card is the 8 of Diamonds, which is the most creative card in the whole deck of cards. So, which is why he could do all this and do all that. So he had Pisces energy working for him and 8 of Diamonds energy. So go look that up if y'all don't know what that means. Cardology, 8 of Diamonds. So, the Shaolin martial arts. So, like I said, the benders are able to manipulate that. Some of the people in those nations are able to manipulate the element of their nation, right? So they're able to bend fire, bend water, bend air, bend earth. So this is, I know a lot of y'all people who watching this have seen it already. This is for the people who have not seen the Avatar. You got to give a little breakdown. So give them a little break, y'all. I know they crazy for not having seen the Avatar yet. What the fuck are you doing? You ain't seen the Avatar? Get your ass to cut this off. Go watch the Avatar, then come back and watch this. But for the people who are still watching, who didn't click off and still want to watch this first, so Avatar, you can bend. The people they can bend elements they're called benders, or manipulate the element they're called benders. It equates to you in real life. You're so as someone, and so then there's one born to all the, who's born who can manipulate all the elements, and that's the Avatar, right? He balances out the 4 nations, so that's what he's supposed to do. Each one has their own power, but then there's one born with all who can manipulate all of the elements, who keeps the balance, so none of them overrun each other with their power. Because I got a power, you got a power, we got a power. Well, shit, let's see who gangster, nigga. Let's rock them, sock them off. And then no, Avatar's like, nope, stay your ass over there, stay your ass over there, stay your ass over there, or no, I'll smack all you niggas. So that's how the Avatar, he keeps the peace, right? So, by doing that, each element that they do is a Shaolin martial art. So it equates to a Shaolin martial art. And then, so that's what I'm saying. They put so much time and energy into this. They even went over to Asia and lived. They lived there and lived with the animators and went and studied the culture and all kind of stuff. I mean, and music. They went to study the music to put into the show. I mean, you understand how much work and time and energy went into the shit. You understand this is why it's so great. So each element is a martial art. So right, so you got water bending is Tai Chi, right? Because water flows in the martial art. It's not really martial art. Well, it is, but it isn't. You can use it as a martial art. It's really it's a way to study the flow of energy, or manipulate the flow of energy that flows all around us and through us, right? And for the betterment of you and everything else. So Tai Chi, it's a flowing, it flows, it moves back and forth. It's not a very hard energy. It's not boom, 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 boom like that. It's, it moves, it flows, whichever way it goes. It's receptive. So water, it's more like water. Water is receptive. Like a Tai Chi master, the way a Tai Chi fighter fights, if you were to strike at a Tai Chi master, they would not block it. They would accept it, they would bring the blow in because they wouldn't block the force. It's not, you don't want to block force with force. They want to meet force with the opposite force. So if you're coming hard, then I'm going to meet it with soft force. I'm going to accept that energy in, but I'm not going to accept all of the energy. I'm going to redirect it now back out to you, which is going to gain even more force because it's going to be your force redirected back at you, along with just a little bit of my force doubles your force. So that's what water bending is. It's Tai Chi, being able to flow and move, because all energy is just water as well, right? Everything as above, so below. So the ether, if we get water from the ethers, then the air is also water. So it's just doing that, right? So firebending is northern Shaolin. You had northern and southern Shaolin temples. They were destroyed by the Japanese back in the day when they was fighting. But they were rebuilt. So the Shaolin temples you see now are not the actual Shaolin temples. They were rebuilt. But the firebending is northern Shaolin. It's a very northern Shaolin style is more like it deals more with breathing. Like so if you understand like yoga or anything like that, your power is in the breath. Even boxing, whenever you box, you take a breath in and you exhale whenever you punch. That adds power to your force, to your punches. So a firebender, they generate power and energy through the breath. So if you look at the firebenders, they're the only one who create their own element. That's right, baby. You goddamn right. We don't need none of you niggas. We can go right to the goddamn Antarctic, just like they did in the first episode. Zuko was right there in the goddamn snow generating fire. I don't need you niggas. All I need is the sun, bitch. So, but that style is northern Shaolin, using the breath to generate fire within the body, right? Then the airbending is called Bagawazan. So Bagawazan is a very whirly type of move. It generates energy by whirling around, spinning, lots of spinning and moving and twisting and stuff like that. It generates energy like that. So that's why you see Aang. He's all like that. Every time he moves around, it seems like he's creating tornadoes and things like that, because that's the way. And every time he moves, he jumps and he spins to generate energy in air. To generate the energy in the air. So that's Bagawazan. But also Bagawazan comes from the I Ching. So if you're able to get an astrology book, get this astrology book right here. So get that astrology book right there. This is Encyclopedia of Chinese Astrology. Right? It's by Tri La. And so it has a whole lot of stuff in there. It not only has astrology, but it also has like your palm reading in the back. So like, you guys see that right there? So it teaches you, if you want to know what your palm meant, what the lines on your palm means, you get all this right here. That stuff goes back a long time, thousands of years. So, see, I know. But the I Ching. So this is the I Ching. So this is the I Ching, right here. It deals with, can you guys see that? So it deals with elements of water, fire, earth, stuff like that, right? So the thing is, there's eight symbols to the I Ching, right? 1 through 8. Each one they represent like heaven, earth, mountain, wind, fire, water. So the thing is, when you look at them all, when you break them down, they all equate to each other. Like 1 and 8 balance each other out. 2 and 7 balance each other out. 3 and 6 balance each other out, and 4 and 5 balance each other out, which also creates 9. Each one of those balancing each other out makes 9, creates the number of 9, which is creation. 1 and 8, 9. 2 and 7, 9. 6 and 3, 9, and 4 and 5 is 9, right? So that's the balance of use of the I Ching, or the Bagwazan are the symbols. So the Bagwazan are the symbols. Bagwa, it's called the Bagwa. Those are the symbols that are used in the I Ching. And there's 8, 4 passive, 4 masculine. And so they each balance each other out. Like, so the 1 and the 8, like I said, the 1 and the 8, 2 and the 7. But like I said, they're masculine and feminine. So, so here, this is how they play out. This is a loose translation. So the number 1 is the creative force, right? The number 8 is the receptive, right? So creative, the energy force, the receptive, the masculine and feminine, divine masculine, divine feminine. Then number 2 is the joyous open, or reflection. And then number 7 is keeping still and bound. So 1 is being joyous and move, boom, boom, full of energy, and then the balance of that is keeping still and reflection. Right? Still and bound. Then the number 3 symbol in the Bagwazan. So number 3 would be like the radiance, right? So the radiance would be to be up here, to radiate, would be to to spread out all over the place, right? Then the number 6 would be like, it's called the abysmal, the abyss, or the gorge. It's the pit. So 1 would be as above, and in the gorge or the abyss, is when they say abysmal, it means the abyss, it means a pit, right? So that means to go deep down, right? So 1 is on the high, the other's on the low. Then 5 and 4, 1 is called the arousing snake, or the arousing shake, and then the other one is the gentle ground. And so, shaking, one is violent, or much more active or violent, aggressive, and then the other one is the gentle. So again, it deals with just balance, the hard and the soft. That's really all it deals with. So that's Aang's fighting style, or the Airbender's fighting style, Bagwazan, right? And then you have earthbending, which is called Hungar, and that's Southern Shaolin. So it's much more rooted. So the Northern Shaolin is much more acrobatic, agile. Northern Shaolin is most of the stuff that you see on TV, where they do a lot of flips and all that type of stuff. Whereas Southern Shaolin, where they use Hungar, it's a very rooted, hard ground stance, because it's much more powerful. When they punch you, it's much more power. So whereas Northern Shaolin is usually for speed, Hungar is more for power. So those are the earthbenders. That's why because they have to be strong. Earth is very hard and rooted in the ground, right? So you have to be a very powerful, rooted person to be able to move Earth. That was also one of the lessons in the goddamn show. And that's one of the episodes called Bitter Work. We'll talk about that in a second. But so, that's what it's dealing with. So that's what it's dealing with as far as the Shaolin. And then the person who created the bending styles is a martial artist. He's a kung fu artist called Sifu Kisu, and he's a brother. He's a brother, light-skinned brother, no, but he's a brother. So Sifu Kisu, he created all the bending styles. So shout out to Sifu Kisu. And but then you have in Avatar Korra. So then there's also after the Avatar, Aang left, he moved on. Then they created Avatar Korra, and then there was other bending styles in Avatar Korra. So in those you had lava bending, blood bending, which actually they discovered that in the first Avatar. Metal bending, that also was discovered in the first Avatar, but they did it more in the second one in Korra. Energy bending, which also was done in the first Avatar, but developed more in Korra. So this is energy bending. So energy bending is when you take somebody else's bending power, right? And Aang learned that because he didn't want to kill the Fire Lord, which is crazy. Like, everybody, all the avatars. So all the avatars, and if you understand the show, the avatars so basically, let's get into the story. of how it breaks down. So, you know, Avatar Aang was, you know, that each Avatar is born to a certain nation. When that Avatar dies, he's born to the next nation. So, when Avatar Aang was born, he was told as a kid he was going to have to be the one to help bring about. He was going to be the Avatar, right? And he was going to have to help keep the balance of the world. He got scared and bounced. And then there's something called the Avatar state that an Avatar is able to go to, basically where they're able to use all the 4 elements whenever they're in danger. When they study, they can actually use it consciously. But when they're not studied, it only comes out when they're in danger. So when Aang ran away, he was over the ocean. There was a storm. In order to save himself, he fell into the water and he was going to freeze to death. So he created this giant. He went into the Avatar state, which meant he was able to use the other bending powers that he didn't know he was able to use, and just self-preservation. He created this bubble of ice that he was in, and was trapped for about 100 years. So then after that, you know, after 100 years, he's been trapped for 100 years. The Fire Nation, supposed to be because fire is aggressive, they took over the world in his absence, since the Avatar was no longer there to smack him up. Say, you know, nigga, you better sit your ass down somewhere, nigga. Since no Avatar was there to do that, the Fire Nation went around just taking everybody out, because fire's off the chain. We don't play. We'll smack the shit out of it. So that's kind of what happened. Aang came back, and you know, his absence basically brought about this you know, this world where the Fire Nation is the rulers, right? They killed everybody and took over rule. So now his whole mission is now he has to go learn the 4 elements, right? And then fight the Fire Lord in order to restore balance to the earth. That's the whole premise of the show. So in learning these elements, it's really teaching you how you are supposed to balance out your personality, right? Because Aang's personality, air equates to mental. If we're going to break down our astrology, let's break down each element. So air equates to mental, thinkers. Water is emotion. They're very sensitive people. Fire is spirit, right? They're most animated people, the fire signs. And earth is physical. They're very rooted. They're the very rooted people. Like earth signs, you know, they're very stuck in their ways. They're very and it's not stubborn, but it's also stability. They're stable. You can also, that's the other side. It's not necessary, you know, everything has a good and a positive and a negative. Everything has a positive and a negative to it. So those are the elements as far as astrology goes. So in the Avatar, they play out in the personalities of the characters. So like, you know, Aang, air sign, he's very jokey and all over the place, and you know, he's very smart, but he always wants to solve stuff by thinking through it, or you know, getting around it or something like that. That's an air sign. You know what I'm saying? They want to, you know, talk about it. They always want to talk about it, think it through, which is, you know, that's a good thing to do. But that's an air sign. Whereas, you know, the fire signs, you know, now this is the thing. Again, there's poles. You know, you got the positive and the negative, but then there's all this in between, right? So you got different things in between as far as the same element. So if I have fire, then I have intense fire, but then I also have fire that can warm the house and give life, right? So there's all of that. So the different fire signs characters represent that. You got the Fire Lord Ozai, who's just straight gangster killer fire. He don't give a shit. And I'm about to break down each character's astrology sign in a second. So then you got the second one is Uncle Iroh, right? Who's the Fire Lord's brother. He's chill. He's relaxed. He's jokey all the time. He doesn't. You can't piss him off most of the time. You know, he wants to just help and heal everybody. That's a fire thing. We want to just help everybody all the time. That's the thing. We just want to, you good. Then you got Zuko. Zuko is a combination kind of, because he hadn't really found himself in the earlier part of the shows. So the signs, we'll break down. So each of the signs. So what you're supposed to do, if you're born in one element, if you're born in one sign, you're supposed to be able to master all the rest of the sign. That's what the show basically is teaching you. If you're a fire sign, just like I am, then you just can't rest on your laurels and say, well, I'm just an aggressive nigga, and just be with that. Because it's not only fire signs in the world. You can't just go through the world smacking the shit out of niggas, no matter how good it feels. Just smack the shit out of niggas, no matter if it feels good. I'm telling you right now. No matter how good it feels to smack the shit out of somebody, you can't go around doing that because everybody's not a fire sign. So they don't. Most people, no one's gonna respond. Everyone's not gonna respond in that way. So like a water sign. So I give you an example. One of my earlier girlfriends, she was a water sign. I'm a fire sign. I used to be super aggressive, and that didn't really work because she was super sensitive. So and I wasn't really super aggressive. I was just aggressive. I'm just me. But because she was super sensitive, she would take a lot of the energy that I said. She would take it as being aggressive. So I had to learn how to speak to her in her language. I had to learn how to water bend, right? So that's a thing. You have to learn how to be around other people within their element. You just can't always, well, I'm just gonna take my element with me no matter where the fuck I go. No matter, even though fire, we the only motherfuckers. We don't need no damn element around us. We generate our own shit. However, you can't do that all the time. So that's a metaphor for anybody else. You're an earth sign. Your opposite is air. Earth people are physical people. They always want to get shit done. They don't necessarily about talking about things. They're about boom. What are we doing? What are we doing? And air signs want to talk it out all the time. That's the complete opposite. So sometimes earth signs, you're gonna have to mentally figure shit out and not just be doing and try to bully and stubborn your way through shit. You're gonna have to sit down, plot and plan and think shit out like an air sign would, which is your opposite. Air signs, sometimes you niggas gonna have to buckle down and stop thinking all the goddamn time and start putting shit in motion. Start physically putting shit into action. So this is, these are the things that you're supposed to be learning in astrology that the Avatar is breaking the fuck down. This is why this show is so goddamn fucking awesome. Each show, this is how dope the fucking shit is. Each show took 9 months to make. Y'all understand that? Each show took 9 months to make. Each episode is only 30 goddamn minutes. It took 9 months. Each episode is a goddamn baby. Basically, each episode is a goddamn baby. So you need to respect it as such. That's how dope those things are. That much energy went into the show. From conception to when you saw it on the screen took 9 months. And and it's breaking off such high heat that I don't even think the writers understand. They knew a lot. They brought in a lot of pieces of their philosophy, our philosophies, and every other people's philosophies around the world, and then it just started to come together harmonically and just do its own thing. It became alive. It became its own fucking thing, and they had no idea because, man, some of the writing, the lessons that are in this damn show are fucking insane. And so I'm gonna give you the best episodes to go watch the best lessons in a second too. But let's start off with the sign. So Aang is a Gemini, right? He's obviously a Gemini. He's the jokey communicator. That's what a Gemini is. They're the communicators of the astrology signs. The jokey, the thinkers too. Their sign is I think. So Aang always trying to think his way out of shit, which is what he did with the Fire Lord. He should have killed the nigga. Spoiler alert. Sorry, y'all. But spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, you better go watch it. But that's what he's supposed to do with the Fire Lord. All the avatars told him. And so, and just so y'all, I'm sure you already know, Avatar, each avatar is connected to all of their past lives. Every time you die, you become a new avatar. You're connected to the lives that you left, which are thousands and thousands of avatars that came before you. You can talk to them and have all that link, that connection. And so, the Avatar, and I'll get to that, and actually I'll get to that in a second. So the second one, Zuko. Zuko was the Fire Lord's son. Zuko's an Aries. If y'all don't see that, Zuko, hothead, loner, always want to do shit by himself. That's the fucking Aries all goddamn day. But as y'all saw at the end of the day, nigga had a good heart. So that's Aries. Aries will quick to smack you. for sure. We are quick to smack you. We don't hold shit in. That ain't how an Aries is. However, we don't hold on to things either. So, but that's Zuko. Zuko is an Aries hothead. Until Aries get it later in their years and they learn to control that energy. But that's what he is. Uncle Iroh is a Sagittarius. Uncle Iroh is a Sagittarius, right? And Sagittarius energy is their IC. They have a vision, and they're very sensitive. So Sagittarius are very sensitive. So if you saw Uncle Iroh, he was probably the most sensitive character in the whole show. Like he was very receptive to people's energy. He wanted to talk to you, meant to make sure you were good and all that type of stuff. And also he had the vision. He understood. He was the wisest one in the goddamn show. Really, even wiser than all the avatars. It was Uncle Iroh. So shout out to Uncle Iroh, or Mako, who played Uncle Iroh. Mako was a famous actor that used to do all the goddamn a lot of kung fu movies and shit back in the day. So shout out to him. Then Azula, Azula was my girl. But man, that girl. Azula's so goddamn gangster. Goddamn. Whoever played, and it's funny, whoever plays that character, the girl who played that character. So Azula and the Fire Lord together are both Leos. That would be their signs. They're both Leos. And Azula, the way she was, she didn't take no punches. She was so gangster. I love it. I'm like, yeah, girl, that's it. She was the most gangster of all gangsters. That's why I fucking love Azula's character. That character was off the chain. And the Fire Lord, he didn't take no shit. He wanted everybody to praise him. That's a Leo. Sorry, Leos. Y'all niggas like to be worshipped and loved. That's the Fire Lord. He wanted to be the king of everything. Right? He wanted to call himself the Phoenix King. Actually, that's what he wanted to call himself. But Fire Lord Ozai is a Leo, just like in Azula. And the funny, the person who played Azula is a Leo. That's the funny thing. The actual actress who played Azula is a Leo, which is why she plays Azula so goddamn gangster. She is a fire sign. She is from the Fire Nation. And the funny, the dude who plays Fire Lord Ozai, and see how they'll show you how these shows lap over, which is why they're probably so good. You have a Star Wars Avatar overlap. So the dude who plays Fire Lord Ozai is Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker. Then Fire Lord. So you got Fire Lord Ozai, and the person who directed 8 episodes of the first season, especially including the first episode, The Boy in the Bubble, The Boy in the Ice, or whatever. That was Dave Filoni. Dave Filoni, if y'all real nerds, y'all know Dave Filoni is one of the dudes that creates the Mandalorian and Clone Wars and Rebels and all the rest of that stuff. So Dave Filoni basically is George Lucas's protege, who's going to carry on Star Wars the way George Lucas wanted it. He basically did 8 of the first episodes in the first season. So this is show you the overlap of the God consciousness. Katara is a Cancer, right? Katara is a Cancer. Why? Because the Cancer sign is I feel, and Cancers are all about family and shit like that, right? And so she was all about her family and her mama dying, and she wanted to get revenge because her mama died, and those are Cancers. Cancers are holding on to some emotion about their family. They about their family. So don't ever fuck with a Cancer's family, or you just ask to get your face cut off. that's just how it go. Cancers don't fucking play. And she was much more powerful when she was emotional, but less accurate. Sokka, the brother, Katara's brother, is Pisces. So Pisces are very jokey and playful, and all over the place, but a lot into their head, and also going both ways. That's why the fish is pointing in different directions. The fish is going both ways. That's because so Pisces are unfocused quite a bit at the time, which is why. But now when a Pisces become emotional, because that's their element is emotion. Water is emotion. Whenever they get into their element, they can focus like nobody else. That unfocused streams becomes a full deluge of water a flood when the Pisces is able to focus. And then and also Pisces are the most creative people. Also, Sokka was the one who came up with all the plans in the show. He was the most creative person. Then Toph, which is the blind earthbender, she's a Taurus. Very, very stubborn, very about the written. Tauruses are about their money. She came from a good family. They about their shit. But very, very, very stubborn people. Very good people. Don't get it twisted. Tauruses are awesome people. But man, it's hard to budge a Taurus on some shit. It is, man. It is damn near like you probably gonna die before you get a Taurus to change their mind. So that was Toph. She was very stubborn and rooted in her shit, and didn't play. Then you had Avatar Roku. Yeah, man. Hey, what up, Avatar Roku? What up, my nigga? So Avatar Roku, right here. Avatar Roku was the avatar before Aang became the avatar. Avatar Roku, just so you guys know, to give a breakdown on Avatar Roku, because he's the dopest one in the whole goddamn show. I don't care what y'all say. Avatar Roku, the word Roku means phoenix. It's the Asian word rok. It comes from the Asian word rok, which means the rock bird, which means it's a phoenix. Yeah, baby, Avatar Roku was the phoenix. And then what did he ride around on? Avatar Roku, the phoenix, rode around on the goddamn dragon. Come on, y'all. Y'all can't. You think they knew about that shit? I promise you, DiMartino and Brian Konietzko, they didn't know nothing about this shit. The dragon and the phoenix. But it's so prevalent in ancient lore, especially Asian lore, that it just was in there. And then I'm telling you, they didn't know. It just came to be. A phoenix is riding on the dragon, and he's the avatar, one of the ones who masters the elements. Come on, y'all. The universe is just putting this shit at your feet. Like, here you go, my niggas. So, shout out to Avatar Roku. The phoenix who rode around on the dragon. And then the other major character is King Bumi. King Bumi. Alright? Why is Bumi so goddamn important? Bumi's probably the most important character in the whole show. Most esoteric hidden character in the whole show. Why is that? What is Bumi? The word Bumi, they'll say in Malaysian, means earth. Right? It means earth. However, that's not what it means. All of y'all got a dollar bill, right? I want y'all to take out your dollar bill. Everybody's seen this. Look in the corner, at the top of the dollar bill. You see the owl in the corner of the dollar bill, right? Bumi means owl. It's the masculine for the owl. So boom is the feminine. Boom is owl. Bumi is the masculine. So booma, I think, is the feminine. Boom is owl. Booma is the feminine. Bumi is the masculine. So Bumi, and then you really want to get down. I don't know if I showed y'all this. Let's see. This is how, and so Bumi was the one breaking off a whole lot of esoteric science. So, excuse me. In one of the episodes, it's called Return to Omashu, where the Fire Lord took over Bumi's kingdom. And so they had Bumi encased in metal so that he couldn't earthbend, but he had his face out, so he actually couldn't earthbend the whole time. Aang and them had to save him. When Aang saved him, he found out he can earthbend when his face was open. He was like, if you can earthbend this whole time, why didn't you free yourself? Why didn't you do anything? Why didn't you stop them from taking over the city? And he said, Aang, what are the fighting gens? He said, there's positive gen for attacking, negative gen for retreating. He said, no, what's the third gen? He said, the third gen? He said, neutral gen. He says, neutral gen? What is that? Neutral gen is when you wait and listen. You do nothing. because sometimes you don't know which way to move, and you have to wait and listen for the universe to tell you, for the information, for the scene to play itself out. He dropped that shit on him right there. He's like, boom, sit. He says, wait and listen. This is when he was actually telling them that his earthbending teacher was going to be somebody who waited and listened, basically telling them you're going to find a blind earthbending teacher, but a blind person who can see. See, these are themes. You're blind here, but you have sight here, enlightenment, right? So, see this book? This is called the Book of Boomy, because this is something called, there's a Shriner temple called the Boomy Temple in Philadelphia. I think it's in Philadelphia. So this is, and so you can see this, the Mystic Shrine. Y'all see that right? So this is an old book from 1884. If you can find this, shout out to the homie Chris for sending me this one. But this is an old book about the Shriners. In this book, you can see there's a depiction of the owl. So when your dollar bill was made, they created the dollar bill, Roosevelt was the one who came up with the concept. He was in the Boomy Temple. President Roosevelt, was in the Boomy Temple. He in the book. He in here. So Franklin Roosevelt is in here. But that ain't the thing. So remember, in the show, the Avatar, Boomy means owl, right? I told you Boomy means owl. So in the book, you see that owl right there? And then on another page, more what? Owls. Right? Why the owl? Because the owl can see at night. It sees what no one else can see. But then also, you want to see all these Caucasians dressed up like Moors? Look at this. These are the heads of state of your country. These are politicians, all dressed up like Moors. So that right there, Boomy, King Boomy, on Avatar, King Boomy on Avatar is the illest, because he seems like he's the craziest, but he's absolutely, like, him and Iroh, I would say, are the wisest. Because if you start to watch it, there's Boomy comes in back towards the end and really breaks Aang off with a bunch of knowledge. But that shows you right there the esoteric. So I definitely think that Brian Konietzko and Mark Martino, they some esoteric. They're Masons. I definitely think that. But I don't think they know how deep that shit goes, because there's so much stuff in there that they couldn't have planned, because they had no control over it. It just came together. A lot of this different stuff that other people put into the show, they had no idea they were going to do that. It just happened. So, like I said, the universe put this shit together, and it was just like the greatest thing. And then in the show, one of the episodes called The Library, there's an owl in the library. Did y'all see that? And this is in the Earth Kingdom. So you got book 1 is water, book 2 is earth, book 3 is fire, right? And there's no air book because he already mastered airbending. So in book 2, Earth, that's where you get Boomy, the Earth King, right? Boomy is the Earth King, and which is the owl. And then there's this hidden library out in the desert, right? So they go to this desert, and there's supposed to be this library with all the hidden knowledge in the world. And its guardian is a giant owl. Y'all have seen that. The owl's name is Wan. Wan stands for 10,000 things or something like that. Like it's a number that stands for 10,000, but in Chinese it means infinite, or but basically anything that's 10,000 is infinite. There is no ending to it, right? That's just the 10,000 number is just a way to show you, like, it's so many. This is the number that we can apply to, but it just basically means infinite. So the owl is like infinite wisdom, right? And so he says, when he talks about, I know everything, And he says he knows 10,000 things, but the 10,000 means he has infinite wisdom. And he talks about that. He's talking out, and he starts to break them off. And in the show, there's a librarian, there's a professor from the Earth Kingdom who's been looking for this library forever. Once he meets the Avatar gang, they start asking him about knowledge, what he wanted to see knowledge for. And he says, knowledge, he says, my dear, because Toph asked him that. And he says, my dear, knowledge is priceless. And then it goes, ding, like that. It was like this big message, right? So, some of the best episodes. Let's really get down to some of the best episodes. So first of all, let me get some random facts. I'm gonna break down some random facts. So the calligraphy that you see on the calligraphy that you'll see in the background. So at the beginning, when you see the calligraphy, it says the divine medium who's descended upon the mortals, right? Mortal world. But then there's calligraphy that's the calligraphy also that's in the opening sequence that you see in the background. Some of it says, powers are divided into 4, the world is guided by 1. So this is, I'm telling you, they're not sparing anything. Like, all of this is subliminal. You don't know what it means, but those characters actually are holding a vibration, and they're communicating that vibration to you, even if you don't know it. That's what symbolism is. In the Earth Kingdom, the Earth Kingdom is represented by the circle and the square, right? The circle and the square is the masculine and feminine combined. The square and the circle are both 360 degrees, and they both represent the masculine, 360 degrees of masculine, 360 degrees of feminine. The masculine is the square, the feminine is the circle, and you have to combine the two, which is why you see. But they got it though from these Chinese coins that they found back in the day. These old Chinese coins, which were circles with squares in them. And so the whole world, the whole theme of the Earth Kingdom is in circles and squares, which is the masculine and feminine, which is, I'm telling you, it's some high heat going on. Watch the symbolism that are going on in the background. Watch for the circles and the squares that are all planted throughout the Earth Kingdom, right? And then Earth is also, to build. Earth is about building. You build with the Earth. Earth is about the square. What are the square, the compass and the square? I'm telling you, masonry, you make the circle and the compass. I'm telling you, this is all in here, y'all. The whole book 2 is about masons. All book 2, the Earth Kingdom is about masonry, y'all. Just so y'all know. Boomy, circles and squares, and all the rest of that shit. So, then you got the agents, the secret earthbending agents called the Dai Li. That really means agent in Chinese. It's funny, Aang means peaceful soaring. Aang's name actually means peaceful soaring, and it's funny that he actually flies. He uses the air bending to fly, or sort of fly with his little staff. And then, like, how many of y'all knew that the show is so goddamn dope, Serena Williams was in that bitch. Like, Serena Williams was like, can I get in that motherfucker? So that's actually a whole lot of stars in there, but that's the one that got me. I was like, Serena is in this bitch? So, man, it is, that show is just so dope. It affected so many people in the world. And so, the best episodes, I want to break down some of the best episodes, so that you guys can go watch, and then we can discuss some of these episodes after you guys watch them. I know you've seen them already, but I want you to go study these episodes. Then we'll do a breakdown. Number 1 is The Deserter, right? So The Deserter, it basically it's teaching about firebending, but it's Aang's first experience with firebending, and he learns from this dude called the Deserter. He was a firebender who left the Fire Nation because he didn't like what the fuck they was doing. So Zhang, if y'all know Zhang, he starts to break him off with the philosophy of fire, how fire is aggressive, and you need to be very disciplined in order to wield fire. And Aang was very out of control, and you need to teach me fire now. And he's like, you're not ready. Look at the fact that, look how you trying to force your way. It shows that you're not ready. And so it's, man, it is the illest. If you're a fire sign, especially if you're a fire sign, you have to watch that goddamn show, because it teaches you about the energy and the feelings you deal with. Not, I mean, if you don't know already, but it teaches you, it shows you that these energy and the feelings that only a fire sign knows. I'm trying to tell you, y'all don't get it. It talks about how fire wants to destroy everything. So you got to be so disciplined in order to wield fire, because fire wants to burn the whole world down. He's like, fire's alive. He's like, it ain't like the other elements. Fire's alive. If you leave fire alone, fire will burn this whole motherfucker down. And he's right. As a fire sign, I'm just letting you know, man, fire motherfucking signs are crazy. It feels good when they're angry. It really feels good. Like, a lot of motherfuckers don't even know when they're angry. A fire sign is like the Hulk. They get power from anger. I'm telling you, the more angry they get, the more powerful they get. So in that show, in The Deserter, it teaches about, if you're a fire sign, it really breaks that down. But even if you're not a fire sign, watch that. It teaches you about control and discipline and being ready to receive knowledge before you just think you're entitled to it. Bitter Work. Bitter Work was about balancing opposites. So in Bitter Work, Aang had to learn how to bend earth. He's an air sign. That's his opposite element, right? In the same thing, it showed Zuko learning how to, what was he trying to learn how to do? Lightning. He was trying to learn how to do lightning, but he couldn't really learn that. So his uncle was like, look, I'll teach you another style, which is redirect lightning. And that was a style he learned from the Water Tribe, because it was Tai Chi. It was about accepting the energy in and then redirecting the energy. Like I told you, that's what Tai Chi is. Tai Chi doesn't block the blow. It's going to accept the blow and redirect it back at you, right? So he was learning his opposite element. He's a fire sign. He's learning a water technique. I'm telling you, these shows are so goddamn dope. And that's why it's called Bitter Work, because dealing with your opposite energy is a fucking hard thing to do. Balancing out your opposite energy, or juxtaposing your poles, the opposite ends of your poles, is a hard fucking thing to do. It's called bitter work. But once you do it, you become balanced and no one can stop you. Once you understand where your balance is, you know what I'm saying, how to balance your energy. It's that episode is off the chain. You haven't seen Bitter Work, and then it talks about the elements and the power of the elements and man, them dudes is off the chain. The Firebending Masters. That's when Aang truly learned how to firebend forever, and he learned from the two dragons, the inventors of firebending, baby. Two dragons, Ren and Shaw. He learned how to do the fire dance. Him and Zuko, they learned how to do the fire dance, and they learned how to fire bend. But he also learned, because he was scared to use fire, because in the Deserter, he hurt Katara because he wasn't ready to use fire, and he thought he was all gangster, and I'm the Avatar, I can do the fuck I want to do. I know how to do this, and he burnt Katara. Then he got sad, and he got scared, and he didn't ever want to use firebending no more. So then, in this one, took all the way a few years before he did firebending again. So in this one, he goes to the Sun Temples, the Native Americans. That episode, if you watch those are Sun Temples, the Native American Sun Temples. Y'all, I'm telling you, they are dropping major motherfucking beans in this shit. So he goes to the Native American Sun Temples to learn how to firebend from the two dragons. Told y'all about America. Amaruka is called Land of the Dragon, motherfuckers. I done told y'all. Amaruka, Land of the Feathered Serpent, basically Land of the Dragon. Amaru is dragon. Amaruka is Land of the Dragon. And in the goddamn Avatar, he had to go to America, really. It was the Native American temples, and he learned how to firebend. Come on, y'all. So that's the Firebending Masters. Please watch that. That's the dope one. That's a real super dope one, because it teaches him how fire is not just destruction; it's life and energy. And so he had to understand there was a balance. Yeah, fire can destroy. It's how you wield it, just like anything else. anything that you use can be used for negative or positive. It depends on how you wield it. The swamp is where he had to go, and he had I don't want to do too much on that, but the swamp, he went into the swamp, and the swamp is where he started connecting with all the whole swamp. Like it was talking to him, and then he was able to connect with the trees, and he understood. He was like, where all life is connected, and he was, I mean, man, go watch that. The swamp starts breaking down how all life is connected. Then Crossroads of Destiny is just not much philosophy. I get, well, it is. It's Zuko dealing with, are you gonna be positive? Are you gonna be bad or good? Everyone has this internal battle. Sometimes they deal with your good or your evil side, and then you want to figure out, am I going to be the good or I'm gonna be the evil? Really, you want to be balanced. You don't pick a side. You do what you need to do when you need to do it. That's really that's really what it is. You're supposed to have one foot in each side. Really, it's not evil. It's just, aggression and passivity. You're supposed to have one foot in each side, so you know what to do and how to handle certain situations when they arise. Because you're not totally alien to the other energy. If I'm totally passive or positive, agreeable when somebody wants to beat my ass or come at me in an aggressive way, I don't know what to do. And then on the negative side, if I'm so negative and want to smack shit out of everybody all the time, I'm not going to know when somebody's trying to offer me a helping hand. I'm going to smack that hand away and just, keep doing that. So you need to know what to use and when to use it. So that's the Crossroads of Destiny. Also, that's the gangster fight between Zuko and Azula and Aang and Katara. That's the fight right there. That's that's the fight right there. That fight is off the chain. Then obviously the Winter Solstice. That's in episode 1 where they do the moon goddess. The Avatar and the Fire Lord. Holy shit. That's where Avatar Roku, they tell the story of Avatar Roku and the Fire Lord Sozin, who was Fire Lord Ozai's father that he killed. But him and Avatar Roku was best homies. And so he wanted Avatar Roku to help him take over the world. And Avatar Roku was like, nigga, stop playing. Nigga, I'm the Avatar, nigga. Nigga, stop tripping. And he was like, yo, nigga, I'm the king. You better do what I say. And so he was like, nigga, no, don't do it. Some years later, Ozai, or Sozin, excuse me, Fire Lord Sozin, he went and smashed on the Earth Kingdom. And the Avatar Roku was like, nigga, what the fuck I say, nigga? Didn't I say, don't fucking do this? Smacked him up real quick. Hey, nigga, if I got to come back here, nigga, I know we homies, nigga. I don't give a fuck. If I got to come back here, nigga, you dead. You understand me, bitch? That's how we get down. Fire all the way, my nigga. Hey, nigga, I told you once. If I gotta tell you again, nigga, that's a wrap. Shout out to Avatar Roku. That's my nigga right there. He's like, nigga, don't make me come back and slap the shit out of you, nigga. So, and he didn't. That nigga didn't do nothing for 20-something years. He was like, that nigga serious. he didn't want to mess with the Avatar Roku for a long time. So go watch that episode. It's really dope. Sozin's Comet. Oh, excuse me, Boiling Rock. So it's basically the day of the Boiling Rock and the Day of the Black Sun. That's parts 1 and 2. That's when the eclipse happened, and they were gonna try to fight, take over, and go beat the Fire Lord on the day of the eclipse. And oh man, didn't go down like they thought. Just that one right there. That one is breaking it down. And then my final one would be Sozin's Comet. Obviously, that's the final one where Aang finally learns how to become the Avatar, and he learns that you don't have to kill somebody. You can basically the metaphor for bending someone's energy is changing their mind. Is basically getting into their psyche and being able to change the way they see something, right? So, if this person, so that's why I said at the end, it said in order in the ancient times, you can only bend someone's energy. and to bend someone and how did it go? In order to bend someone's energy, your own energy must be uncorruptible. Otherwise, you will be corrupted. And that's why when Aang was trying to bend Ozai at the end, and he was trying to do it, and Ozai was taking over. Ozai was like, nigga, I'm strong. He started going red all over the place. Aang was losing the battle, the mental battle, until his eye almost closed, and then that boom, and then he blew, and then boom, the blue took over, and he finally bent. But it's basically saying, don't try to go take on somebody else who's very rooted or more rooted in their philosophy than you are in yours, because they will change. They'll end up changing you. That's basically what that meant. Like, so if you rooted in your shit, then yeah, you can go and try to, change somebody, or allow them to see things in a different path, in a different way. However, if you're not fully rooted in your energy and the way you do shit in life, don't go fuck with nobody else, because then they're probably going to change you. You're gonna be the one corrupted. So these are all these lessons that are being taught within the goddamn Avatar, the greatest goddamn TV show of all time. And y'all, so you see, it's not just a TV show. I mean, great cartoon, funny shit, but all of these esoteric things that are going on within the show within the show, the philosophy within the philosophy, and it gets crazy deeper. Then they went on to Korra and fucked it up. Avatar Korra is some bullshit. However, she was riding around on a damn polar bear named Naga. Did y'all see that shit? Come on, y'all. She's rolling around on a goddamn polar bear dog named Naga. But she ended up being gay. You see how they... And then also they messed that up because they let more writers in who didn't have their philosophy. So the writers of the first show, they went on to do other things, and they didn't get them back. So these other writers they let in, which are some Asian cats, they didn't really understand the philosophy like the other guys did. So this is why you get the stories that they're a little different, and they're not written out as well. So like they were trying to change it up, and Korra is from the Water Tribe, but she has an aggressive energy. She's aggressive like she's from the Fire Nation, which totally throws the whole energy off. Like if you're gonna make Aang of his energy, then make her of her energy. Why can't she be a feminine avatar? Why can't she be that? Why does she got to be all aggressive and gangster and angry and all that to be a fucking avatar? What is wrong with feminine energy? I don't get that shit. However, so they had to make her gangster, and they modeled her off of Gina Carano, Aries, my Aries girl, my Aries Muay Thai girl. Love you, Gina. But they modeled her off of Gina Carano. So she's aggressive, fighty, I'm gonna fight and all that. And but Gina Carano not gay. She like dudes. So I don't know what they did with that. But they made her gay at the end, and she went off into the sunset or to a vortex and shit with with the girl at the end. But the way the power works, the Avatar power, just so real quick, I want to break that down because a lot of people don't. If you didn't watch Korra, they showed how the Avatar came to be. The Avatar is basically the embodiment of light. So in the spirit world, the first human avatar, his name was Wan, like the owl. See, Avatar is Wan, like the owl, which is they keep showing you owl represents enlightenment, the knowledge that you don't know. So Wan in the spirit world, he came up on the fight of the two spirits, Rava and Vatu. And Rava is the light spirit, Vatu is the dark spirit. And so he saw him fight, and this is an eternal fight that goes on forever, as good and evil does, right? So he came up on the fight. He thought the spirit needed some help, and this bitch ass nigga, he interfered with the fight and allowed Vatu, darkness, the dark spirit energy, to get away and manifest in the world. So then, all right, if Vatu got away, and then now I need you to be my avatar in the human world, in the physical world, so that we can bring Batu and combine the two energies back. Basically, the whole point was to bring the two energies back together. They're two energies. The light and the dark are one whole. And so he was like, look, basically you got to combine, you got to bring the energy back, right? So you're going to be my avatar in the human world. So he's the avatar of light, which is why his eyes light up and all the shit light up when that nigga do that shit. He is the embodiment of light, which is consciousness, enlightenment. Nigga, y'all, man, whoa. This ain't meant for kids. It's meant for kids, but it ain't meant for kids. It's meant for your kids because it's got all the fighting and cartoon and all that, so they'll love that. But they're gonna take these lessons in and manifest these things as they get older. I'm telling you. And then you know, in order, and so basically in the show, there's a saying in the library where they talk about in the library, and the saying, this dude says, in order to take, so basically like when they go to the library, the owl, in order for them to get knowledge out of the library, the owl tells them, in order for you to take knowledge from the library, you must bring knowledge, right? This is a Masonic saying. This is a Masonic thing. Masons are very tight-lipped with their information, especially Masonic information. And if they want to get information from you, what they're going to do is bring you information first in order to say, this is an even exchange. I'm embodying what I want. So there's a Mason, if you go to Washington, D.C., over this Masonic temple, near the Capitol building, there's a writing, a stone writing on the wall, and it says, if a man would bring home the wealth of the Indies, he must first take the wealth of the Indies with him. And so it is in traveling. Traveling is a Masonic term. Masons are called travelers, right? Travel from the east to the whatever. So, and so it is in traveling. If a man would bring home knowledge, he must first take knowledge with him. That is the saying. That's a Masonic saying on the goddamn temple in Washington, D.C. So it lets you know that if you need to embody knowledge. If you want knowledge, then you have to come and give knowledge, and the universe will then give you knowledge. So this is some shit. This ain't even all the shit. We'll do a part 2 when it really gets into the episodes and stuff like that. But I just wanted to break down the high heat astrological and philosophical shit that they be dropping on the show that makes it the dopest show. Which most people who even love the show don't even know how dope that shit is. They not even that connected to the information and the symbolism to really understand the DNA that it's that it's opening and designing and turning on in your body, the antenna that is turning on in your body. And then and Avatar Korra has some good stuff because they got into using the airbending to learn how to fly. That was crazy. That dude, the dude who knew how to fly, that dude was off the chain. And he was ill. His philosophy was off the. So I'm telling you, this show is so goddamn dope. I love it, man. If you haven't seen it, take your kid, sit your kids down, have them do a damn book report on each episode. Watch it with them because it's a fun goddamn show. If you haven't seen it, then you can. If you have seen it, also watch it with them because it's good to watch again. But then you can kind of direct them into the symbolism and see if they can pick up on some stuff and say, see that right there? That means that. See that right there? That means that. You know what I'm saying? So you're giving them a frame of reference, some context that they can grasp onto, and they'll get this knowledge early. You want to be symbol literate. I'm telling you, you want your children to be symbol literate, especially in this world as we're getting into now, where they use nothing but symbols. That's all you got is emojis all over your phone. So we want to get symbol literate. Sit your children down, have them watch the Avatar. It's a great goddamn show in teaching you about astrology. It's not that it shouldn't be the main thing that teaches you about astrology. It should be an addendum. It should be an accessory for you getting astrology books. You know what I'm saying? Make sure, I guess, make sure y'all go and get them all, baby. Make sure you get them all. Right there, baby. That's the thumbnail. But make sure you go get them all. And sit your butt down and watch the Avatar. Sit your child down, have them watch the Avatar. It is going to be a great thing. Thank Brian DiMartino and Michael DiMartino and Brian Canesco for whatever they did, whatever they linked up with, connected with in the damn universe, that shit happened. Because actually it wasn't even supposed to be this. How they went to they were pitching some other show. They were pitching a show like a Stand By Me show where little kids go. They grew up in a small town, and Nickelodeon said we don't want that shit. And when they went back home, Brian Konietzko, he had a cartoon he was working on about an old monk, a Shaolin old monk. And so Nickelodeon told him we want a kid. We want a kid cartoon. So he basically took the monk, turned it into Aang, a little boy, and the rest is history. And it happened like they had to come up, and they also came up with Katara, the character Katara, 20 minutes before their pitch meeting. So this shit just happened on the fly. That's what I'm saying. The universe is just putting shit together for you. This is a roadmap for you. This was supposed to happen. When stuff like this happens and there's this much harmony behind it, and there's this much information and knowledge and everything and all the work and consciousness that went into it, it was made for you. They had no control over it. It was supposed to happen. It was made for you. Please go enjoy it. Avatar The Last Airbender, the greatest goddamn, one of the greatest shows of all time. And you know, they're about to do a new series coming out on Nickelodeon. Not the one on Netflix. Netflix is doing a real show. That's gonna suck because they flipped it up again and they're trying to make it woke. So that's gonna be some bullshit. But the real makers of the show are doing another Aang. So they're doing the continuation of Aang, and that's gonna be on Nickelodeon. So I can't wait to see that. We definitely gonna go over that when that shit come out because it's gonna be off the chain. But please go watch the Avatar. And that's it for the Naga Nerds, the episode 2 of the Naga Nerds. I love you guys, man. I love all my nerds. This is my real people. My real people is nerds. A couple of channels for y'all to go check out too if y'all like nerd shit. Real Rejects, The Cosmic Wonder. What's another one? New Rock Stars. These are nerd channels that delve heavy spoilers. Those are the best ones that I like. You know, so those are the ones that I'll watch every now and then. These are nerd channels that are up your nerd game. If you want your nerd knowledge up, go watch some of these channels. Your nerd knowledge will get up there. But I'll be doing the next one I'll be doing. I don't know what I'll be doing. If you got some suggestions, send it to me and put it in the comment box if you want me to do a special one. If not, I got a whole list of stuff that I got ready to do for Naga Nerds, so I'll just go to the list and bring out the next one. But until then, I want to thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you guys for the support for the channel, for the new Naga Nerds channel. Make sure you tell everybody who's a nerd, because I know there's way more of us that's out there that's nerds. They just don't want to admit it. But fucking make them admit it, make them subscribe. And also subscribe to the Dragon More channel. That link is going to also be in the description box. That's going to be my second channel in case they trip and cut off the real Naga channel. But that's it for me, y'all. I'm about to be out and go get me some turkey burgers. I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Shout out to Avatar Aang. Shout out to y'all. Peace.